closely with a large Asian community under the umbrella of the black resistance and activism. The politics of Black Britain were energized by the struggles in South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Namibia at that time, as the people there fought to liberate themselves from centuries-old colonial rule, as well as those resisting oppression in African countries. On a national level, intensified Black British political activism in the UK yielded notable results, with the election of the first wave of articulate young Black MPs, including Diane Abbott, Barney Grant, Paul Boateng, and Keith Vance at the time when we had just arrived in Britain. For the first time, a new Black politics was emerging, and Black people were increasingly visible in mainstream British politics. Ngũgĩ had left Kenya and had come fresh from the front line of our struggle for change. Apart from producing groundbreaking plays such as Gahikan Denda and the Trial of Dedan Kimathi, establishing the Kamiridhu Community Center, and getting incarcerated by the Kenyan state, which feared the political conscientization of the Kenyan peasantry, he also played a pivotal role in the establishment of underground progressive organization like the December 12 movement, which would be articulated by other speakers. He was also bringing his vast experience to bear on our nascent diaspora political group in London and in the neighboring European countries. As soon as Ngũgĩ arrived, we quickly organized ourselves into a solidarity group called the Committee for the Release of Political Prisoners, initiated by Wanjiru Kwihoro in June 1982. It was formally launched on the 2nd of July 1982 with John LaRose, founder and publisher of the New Bacon books, as the chair. The committee responded to the political escalating repression and the human rights abuses by the Kenyan government. Founding members of the committee included Ngũgĩ, Wanjiru, Wanyiri Kihoro, Abdulatif Abdallah, Wangoi Wagoro, and Nish Matenjwa. And later we were joined by Sumbi Lango and Dan Thayer. Shadrach Guto also participated in the formative stages before moving to teach at the University of Zimbabwe. The committee enjoyed support from prominent figures, historical figures in the British Black movement, including Dorcas Howe, who was the editor of Race Today, the poet Linton Kwesi Johnson, the veteran academic, writer, and revolutionary figure C.L.R. James, the parliamentarians Jeremy Corbyn and Harry Cohen, Sarah White, Patricia Howard, Anne Wormsley, Leila Hassan, and Margaret Busby among them. These were some of our solidarity supporters and important in our history of resistance. We campaigned for the release of many political prisoners, including Raila Odinga, George Anyona, Koigi wa Wamwere, Edward Oyugi, Alamin Mazrui, Kamau Kuria, Maina wa Kinyati, Kamoji Wachira, Mukaru Nganga, and hundreds of other political activists who were languishing in Moi's jails. Incidentally, at that time, our sister Martha Karua was an active lawyer, and she happened to be the lawyer of Raila Odinga and some of these people whom we were supporting. And they were fighting on the same front, but to my surprise, when I returned from exile, I found that there are parts of many of these activists and the strugglers in the liberation of our country had gone to different political movement and formations. One of the most significant developments during our exile time in London was the formation of Kenya in 1986. Until then, we operated under the umbrella of the Committee for the Release of Political Prisoners, which united Kenyans and internationalists supporting our struggle against the new colonial Kenyan regime. The formation of Kenya was a milestone in the sense that this was the first publicly organization to challenge the political legitimacy and to throw the gauntlet to the Moi regime since the banning of the Kenya People's Union, KPU, in the 1960s. There were many underground organizations, but for all intent and purposes, we were one of the first organizations to come out publicly. As repression inside Kenya intensified, it became clear we could no longer remain passive. We needed to act and stand with the Kenyan people.